Hello viewers, this is Saki from TCL Global, Global Operations Manager. So with us today, Tasmina Chaudhary from University of Chester. So hi, how are you?
Hi, Sakib. I'm good. Thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. So if you give us intro of yourself or our viewers.
Yes. Hi, everyone who's viewing us today. Warm welcome. So, my name is Tismina Chaudhary. As Sakib mentioned, I am the country manager for Bangladesh at the University of Chester. And today we're going to be having this session so that we can give you more idea about the university, take any questions you have, because I understand due to COVID, one-to-one counseling is not possible at the moment. So, we'll try to share as much information as we can today for all of you.
Okay. And viewers, you know that of Chester's, I think there's nothing new. I want to tell with you that for Bouncy student, that is the most popular university. We all know that. So if you have any more confusion about anything, any question, any entry requirement, or anything you want to know, Tasmina Chaudhary is here to reply your questions. You can comment in the comment box. So uh, please just give us an overview about University of Chester's.
Yeah, the University of Chester is one of the oldest higher education institute in the UK. It was established around 1839, so it has been there for a very long time, which is why it's quite a reputed and established university. Currently, we have about 20,000 students at the moment studying with us from 130 universities, about numerous faculties, varied from a range of subjects, starting from our most popular subjects, ranging from medicine to engineering to English, education. We then have social work, computing, IT, art and design. The University of Chester has, outside of Chester, we have two campuses in Warrington and Shrewsbury. So these are campuses where students can go with a shuttle from the main university campus. And within the university, we have the Parkgate campus, which is the main campus. Then we have the Queen's Park, Riverside, and Kingsway campus. So essentially, the University of Chester is actually a university city, by which it means that the campuses are spread around the city and everything is almost in walking distance. Apart from that, we have great number of international students. Last year, 2019, saw the highest intake of international students. University of Chester has been voted in the top 10 as the best international university, but by What Uni Choice Awards. We have a near about 95.6% rate of students, graduate students who go into employability or further studies. We are also ranked in the top 10. 9 of our subjects are ranked in the top 10 by Times Higher Education. So yes, quite popular among international students and among Bangladeshi students as well.
Okay, that's great. So viewers, you already know that the ranking about the Chester University, the location. So I think this is the dream university that you are actually looking for. So there's also more information is coming. So just stay tuned with us so you can get back with more informations. So if you tell us something that about the most popular courses of University of Chester, especially for the bouncy students.
Yeah. To be very honest, we do offer a range of subjects, and of course, as you would know, that students have from particular regions have preferences in various subjects. For example, from Bangladesh, we get a lot of application for international business, a lot of business-related subjects, which is very popular and very well delivered in our university. We have in our master's level, we have medicine subjects, a varied range of medical subjects. The medical school has become quite popular among Bangladeshi students in the last, I would say, 3-4 years. Currently, we have around 10 students who are studying varied range of medicine subjects with us, from hematology, gastroenterology, cardiovascular diseases. So almost about 8 subject areas that we have to offer within the medical school. Like I mentioned, the business school, we have international business, management, human resources, marketing, accounting, finance, in both our undergrad and postgrad levels. We also have engineering, we have computing, which is also quite popular. We do get the occasional applications in education, English language and linguistic, a few here and there for social work, and then there's IT, there is computing and design, like I mentioned. So yes, I would say across all fields we get a lot of applications, but it's mostly, I think, would be around business and medical school, and IT, and our foundation, school is also quite popular.
Okay, so actually we know that the social work and medical related courses, but some universities in UK, that is very tough to get admission for this subject, especially for social work and medical related subject that you mentioned, gastrology and hematology and biomedical science, pharmacy, pharmacology. So what is the entry requirement, basic entry requirement for these subjects in Chester?
Okay, so I want to start off then first give an idea about what level of courses we offer, and then I think I'll go into entry requirement. Then it will be easier for everybody who's hearing us to understand. The University of Chester offers 4 different levels of study. So we have the International Foundation year. We have an International Foundation program with a bachelor's, so that's a 1+3 program. We then have the bachelor's program, and then finally we have our master's program. So International Foundation year are for those students, who don't have the required academic criteria to go into a direct entry into bachelor's. So for those students, if you have a 55% in your 12th grade, you can then apply for our International Foundation year. You will need an UKVI IELTS academic of 5 overall and 4.5 in each band. If you have requirement above 55%, so you have more than 55%, then you can go into a National Foundation program, for which you will also need UK IELTS of overall 6, 5.5 in each band. For bachelors, like you mentioned, a lot of subjects, so it's not subject specific requirements, it's general requirement. However, few subjects will require you to have studied, for example, say maths in your 12th grade and have a certain grade. So that is very subjective. Otherwise, the general entry criteria for bachelors is that if you're coming from HSC, then it's 4.5. If you're coming from A levels, then it's 2B1C, 1B2C. So that's the academic entry criteria. And for IELTS, it's overall 6, 5.5 in each band, right? For masters, the entry criteria is if you're coming from a bachelor's, then it's 3.28. If you're coming from another master's or MBA, then it's 2.75. And the English requirement is IELTS 6.5, no less than 5.5 in each band. So that is the overall entry criteria. However, I know that now because of the COVID situation, students are not being able to give IELTS. And I would just like to tell here a good part about the university is that we take our own internal English language test, which is free of cost to students. So if students can't take IELTS at the moment, we have been doing that for a long time. It's just not because of COVID. We have been doing it for a long time. I think almost 5-6 years, we have our own English language test. So when students apply with us, they can then request for an English language test, which they can give online from their home, just like we are doing right now via internet, via Skype. So that is something that will help the students a lot.
Okay, that's great. Okay, so we start from foundation like that. For foundation, so you are providing 4 years cash, right?
No, the foundation, International Foundation year, that is just for 9 months. So that's in a 1-year CAS. For International Foundation 1+3 program, the International Foundation program, plus, our bachelor's. So that is a 4-year CAS. So that is 1 CAS.
So which courses are available for this 1+3 program?
All right. So, as you would understand, that's a pathway. It's a pathway course. So, we do have subjects from business. We do have engineering and computing. So, students would essentially start with those, and they will study a mix of those, and then move on to whatever specific subjects they want to study. So, similarly, both for our foundation year and for our foundation program. So like you mentioned, for the 1+3 program, students can, start off with accounting, the main foundation year school, and then they can move on to specifics like accounting, finance, engineering, IT, the subjects that we do offer. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. So I also want to mention that what is the progression marks in foundation?
In order to progress on to our bachelor's?
Foundation to bachelor progression marks.
Yeah. So it has to be above 55%.
Okay, okay, that's great.
We are not
I've got
required.
it. Okay, so let's back with some COVID-19 situation. We
Yeah.
know that this situation we all are stuck and locked down in this moment. So for the running students in Chester
Mhm.
University, what are they doing now? They're doing the classes in online, right?
Yes, because the office, the university is at the moment, physical teaching is closed at the moment. The students are doing studies online. At the exams are being delivered, the modules are being delivered online. As it is, the university is extremely equipped that way. We do, in essentiality, we do post all our study materials, timetables online as it is even before COVID. But now the teaching is also being delivered online as well.
Okay, thank you. So please tell us something for the upcoming students for the September intake. What
All
is the
right.
planning of the university?
Okay, so just want to say that we are seeing all the comments, and I think we'll be taking the comments shortly of all the students.
Thank you.
Yes, so for the COVID situation, currently, I just want to tell everyone that we are running things as usual, by which we mean that we are accepting applications for our September-October session for all our programs, and we are, processing the application as we usually would. There has been no changes declared as of yet. We are planning to start when we are scheduled to. Should there be any changes, it will be communicated with the students and all our partners, because you have to understand this is an ongoing situation. One day it seems like it's getting better, the other day, it's getting worse. So we still have almost 3 months time at hand before our session starts. So we will probably hear something concrete by next month, which we can deliver to our partners. But we are processing application only because if a student does put in an application, they can now get a full refund for their deposit, which we didn't do before, and they can also defer their course to another year should they feel like doing that. So for students, there is no loss essentially if they start the application now.
So please, you can take some comments from our viewers.
Yeah.
You want to read or I will read?
Well, I can take it. All right.
Okay.
So I'm just going to say hi to everyone whose message does. Urmi Shikdar is asking, will you accept medium of instruction or any other English test instead of IELTS? Hi, Urmi, that's a great question. I'm sure that is what everybody has in mind at the moment. Unfortunately, we are not accepting medium of instruction because we've not done that before and we're not looking to do it now. However, like I mentioned, we do accept a lot of other English language exams instead of IELTS. We do accept, PTE, we accept OET, we accept other English language exams as well. However, I understand that even if you were to give those exams as well, everything is closed. All the centers are closed at the moment. You can't give those. And I've mentioned already that we take our own English language test, which you can do from your home. So once you've put in an application with us and you hold a conditional offer letter, you can then request for your test. And this test is free of cost. N. Zaman is asking, would you tell us about MBA admission and scholarship and accommodation facility at your university? All right, a lot of points here. So I'm just first going to address MBA admissions. So for our master's level admissions, like I've mentioned previously, if you're coming from a bachelor's background, then your score needs to be 3.28 in your bachelor's. If you're coming from a master's level, then you need to have 2.75. And your entry criteria, IELTS, is 6.5 overall, 5.5 in each band. Or if you take our English language test, University of Chester English language test, and if you pass that, you can also make to our MBA program. For MBA, we require students to have some sort of good managerial experience. However, if your academic grade is good, we can then accept you onto the program as well. So like I say, it's profile to profile. A lot of time, even our partners or our students get discouraged when they see, the entry criteria and maybe they fall a bit short. But I still encourage them to apply because it's, like I mentioned, profile to profile basis. So there might be something else in your profile that makes up for, having less academic score. Yeah. For scholarship, I'm going to talk about scholarships in general. We have scholarships in our undergrad and our postgrad levels. In undergrad level, we have scholarship of £1,000, 12,450 is the tuition fee, £12,450. Out of there, £1,000 we give scholarship, which is guaranteed for international students. So you will get that for sure. Another additional £1,000, which is a merit scholarship that's based on your grades. So at the undergrad level, you have a possibility of getting at best £2,000 scholarship, and that is a rollover scholarship, by which it means that this is applied to every year of study that you do with us. So that's year 1, 2, and 3 of undergrad. You will have this £2,000 scholarship. At master's level, the tuition fee is again 12,450 for masters, and we also have for MBA it's 12,700, like Zaman is asking, and we have a scholarship opportunity in our master's level up to £3,000, which then makes it very competitive course fee for a master's in the UK, because the course fee can then go down to 9,450 for just a year.
Yeah, so actually I want to go with this question actually.
Yeah.
For the viewers who know that you are thinking that only £1,000 scholarship, but for your assurance, I am telling you that University of Chester is one of the most affordable tuition fees universities among the UK. So if Tasmina Chaudhary tell you that, you will understand that for MBA, she already mentioned that with the scholarship, the tuition fees will be only £9,000. So can you imagine, with 10 lakh, you can doing an MBA degree from UK. So please, if you tell them something about the tuition fees to bachelor and master's level, then they will understand how much affordable.
Yeah, so international foundation program and foundation year is 9,250. So undergrad level is 12,450 and postgrad is 12,450. Just that MBA is 12,700, a bit more. However, like you mentioned, our tuition fees are quite competitive, and that is one of the key factors why students should choose Chester. They might think that, oh, 1,000 scholarship isn't much, I'm getting more scholarship from another university. However, to begin with, the tuition fees for Chester is less as it is. You will see that another university, the tuition fee is 15,000 and they are giving £2,000 scholarship. Ours is 12,000. So if you give 1,000, it's still quite less. So that is why that is the amount of scholarship we have at the moment. And for international students, it's guaranteed, like I mentioned, and you don't have to apply separately. When you put in your application, you will get it automatically.
I think in German, here's another question. I have completed BB and MBA in 2014. May I eligible to apply for master's program again? I have managerial experience.
Hi, Zaman. Yes, you will be able to apply for a master's program. However, I would just like to mention here that when you have done a same level of study, be it an MBA or an MSc, then the question arises as to why you want to do the same level of study again. If you can make a convincing point, then we are more than happy to accept your application, given that you have no gap in between your studies. If you have been working, that is fine. And also in your statement of purpose, you need to write as to why you want to do the same level of study again. If that is good enough for admissions team, you are most welcome to apply. Yes.
Yeah, so in German, you can contact with our team. Our email address admissions@talibconsultancy.co.uk. You can send the documents, and if you have further query, our team will help you about your queries. So for the viewers, I want to tell you that TCL Global is one of the top 5 UK agency for recruiting students from Middle East region, and we have started our journey in Bangladesh from the last year. So it's almost 1 year we're in operation in Bangladesh. So this program is broadcasting in all our market, Middle East market, Africa market, and Bangladesh market. So just stay tuned with us to learn more about the University of Chester. Tasmina Chaudhary, the international officer from University of Chester, is with us. So please, if you have any comments in the comment box. She will reply with comments. Okay, so if you tell us something about your January intake.
To be honest, I will say it like that. Usually we have 2 intakes, major intakes, which are our September, October, when we have all subjects and all levels of studies, by which I mean function program, bachelor's, and our postgrad programs. In January, we usually just have the post-graduation program. Our MSc subjects are offered in Jan, which is more limited than it would be in our September-October session when we do offer all the subjects. However, Saqib, for this January, it's too early to speak because of the COVID situation, it might be possible that we might defer our September-October to Jan, or we might offer more subjects than we usually do if we start in September-October. So right now, I will hold my comments, but we do have a Jan session, as we always do. Just remains to see how it's going to work out this time.
Okay, that's good. Okay, so there's some question about the Presessional English.
All right. Yes, the university does provide Presessional English, and the best part is that we have 3 duration of Presessional English, 4 weeks, 8 weeks, 6 weeks. So essentially, when a student gives an application with us, they will receive a conditional offer letter. If you don't have English language and exam, any sort of English language exam, you will be then given 2 options. Either you can take our English language test, which if you pass, then you can just straightforward go on to your desired program, or you can take our Presessional English, like we've mentioned before. Just to let you know that currently the Presessional English course is being delivered online, because our 14 weeks Presessional usually starts, I think, in early March, sort of. So for now, because people can't travel, Presessionals have started online this year. In the current scenario, my suggestion to student is that sort of give the English language test if possible, because for Presessional you will have to, if it's face to face, then you will have to travel to the UK, which is not possible at the moment. But in general, we do have Presessional English, yes, that we do provide for international students.
Okay, so if you tell us in a brief about the internal test of University of Chester, like that for the IELTS, they have the same band, like speaking, writing, listening.
Yes. So like I mentioned, when you hold a conditional offer letter with us, you can then request a date for the University of Chester English language test, which we call as UCALT. So for the UCALT, they will give you, say, for a date from a week's time that you've requested. In that email sent to student, there will be a proper guideline of how the test will be conducted, what it looks like. Essentially, it's about an hour to hour 20 minutes test. It has all the 4 modules like it would be in IELTS: reading, listening, speaking, writing, all 4 modules. But of course, it's a shorter duration of time. As you would know, I think IELTS is somewhere near about 4 hours, but this is about an hour or 10 minutes test. You will have an examiner on the other side of your screen. You do it via Skype, and they will assist you about how to take the test. My request to always all the students is that I understand a lot of students are skeptical or shy. If they don't understand anything, if they have technical problems, they don't say that at the beginning of the test. And if something goes wrong, then they mention that after the test. Unfortunately, if you mention that after the test, there's nothing we can do. So I always encourage students to ask your examiners if you don't understand anything at the beginning of the test in regards to the test. If you have technical problems, please do mention it before the test, so we can give you a proper outcome.
Okay, so if I tell you that, how many times you can sit for this internal test?
Only once, actually, because I'll tell you why that is. Although we don't charge the students, but we do charge our examiners, but that is not the main problem. The main problem is that we are giving the test, currently we are giving the test to everyone all over the world. So you would understand the amount of, volume of test we are taking. So it's extremely high. So for us so of course, the ones who haven't taken the test will be, of course, the first priority, then someone who's already taken it. So yes, it is one chance, unfortunately, at the moment.
Okay, so is there any decision on IELTS indicator or Duolingo test?
No, there has
in case
not at the moment. I do know that this has been floating around, but we not at the moment. No, only because why? Because Duolingo is something like the test that we already have. Duolingo is something like that you can take online as well. So the whole point is here, because you can essentially take our own test. We do have that facility. We are still not thinking of Duolingo as of yet. However, if that does happen, we'll probably be deciding on that quite soon. Then the students will know.
Okay, that's good. Okay, so let's come on placement year. Lots of questions about the placement year. So which courses we have provide placement year?
So for our international students in our undergrad level, we do have, I won't say a lot, but we do have a few courses that does provide placement here, which are essentially mostly in the business related field, and there are a few occasional engineering subjects, but it's mostly in our business related fields, like accounting, bachelor's, finance. So it's essentially first year of study, second year is your placement year, and year 3 and year 4 is your, again, top courses. How this works is that the tuition fee for your taught module is 12,450. For your placement year, it's just 15% of your first year tuition fee. So that would be your fee for your placement year. University will help the student to put them in touch with potential employers, because the University of Chester has one of the highest rated career services department in the UK among a lot of other universities, and we do have a lot of fairs, a lot of local and national employers visiting the university throughout the year. The team will help, the university will help the student get in touch with them, prepare them for it. But then, of course, it's up to the student to then secure the work placement, because they will have to go through interviews and everything. Yes, so it's mostly in our business related subjects that we have the placement years.
So for MBA, you have placement year?
No, we do not have placement years in our master's level. We have placement year in our undergrad level only.
Bachelor.
Yeah.
Yes, okay. So so in the placement, the job is confirmed. It will depend on the students.
For the placement year, I cannot say confirm for sure, only because the student has to secure it, because they will have to go through interviews and everything. However, the university will assist the student. They will prepare the student. We do mock interviews with the students. We put them in touch with a lot of employers, help them with CVs and everything. But then, of course, you do understand that it's then up to the student to secure the placement year. However, if it so happens that a student cannot, secure a job, of course, then they don't have to pay for it. They can then move on to their top courses and skip the placement year.
So I think you have also the career support team who also supporting these issues.
Yes, well, we have one of, actually it's the top 10, has been ranked among the top 10, a 5-star career support service at the University of Chester. So essentially this department will help students. It doesn't matter whether you are looking for work placement or not. If you're just a student in our bachelor's, in your master's, or any other program, you can take support of this department. You can schedule appointments with them. They'll help you write your CV. They'll help you, prepare for interviews when you finish your courses with us. So I urge all the students to take advantage of this opportunity, because don't have to pay anything for it. The team is there just to help you and assist you. So even if you're not going for a work placement here, it's just not for people who are going for a work placement, it's for all our students. So no matter what level of study, what course you're doing for, the career support team will help you to prepare yourself and groom yourself better.
Okay, so another thing is that for the students, that not only the job, there's also some other facilities they already expect. So what kind of support else this job site, your university provide for the students?
Are you meaning about job or in general, the other?
In general, safety, security, accommodation.
So firstly, University of Chester has been ranked the second best safest city for international students in the UK, and it's very frequently ranked as the safest city to live in for international students. I understand that safety is a big concern for international students when they're traveling abroad for the first time. Firstly, there is the international office that I'm a part of. So our main job is to sort of make the students a liaison between the students and the university, so we would help them and assist them in every way we can. Apart from that, we have our support teams for the mental, physical well-being. We have our team for financial help if students requires any sort of help. We have the students union if the students require any sort of help in their academic support. At the undergrad level, we also assign sort of tutors to students, where apart from their actual modules, they can then go to their individual tutors who will then help them with their studies and everything. We have, apart from them, a lot of clubs, a lot of activities. I know crickets, football. We have the swimming pool, gym. There's a 24/7 library, which is open to everyone. That library is also available online, which is a very good advantage. So the physical library is mapped onto our online library as well. For international students, the University of Chester provides guaranteed accommodation should they apply within the deadline. So say the deadline for this year is 10th of August. If any international students applies within that deadline, then they will get a guaranteed accommodation. If they do apply after that, we will try to accommodate them as much as possible. So, accommodation cost would be, we have the standard self-catered room, so which is starting from maybe £90 to about 110 to 20. And then we have studio apartments on suite going upwards. So it actually depends on the students what they want to take. If they don't want to stay in a university accommodation, then they can stay in private accommodations, which is spread throughout the city of Chester. And like I mentioned before, the campuses are also in walking distance, so it's very feasible for everyone.
Okay, that's great. So I want to ask you, what is the initial cash deposit for University of Chester?
Right. So once a student puts in an application with us, they will get a conditional offer letter. So the condition can be either documentation condition. So if they don't have any sort of condition in regards to English, in regards to other documentation, the only condition will be to put in the deposit to secure their place. So the CAS deposit £3,000 minimum.
So what is the procedure of the rest of the tuition fees payment?
So, for example, say a student's tuition fee is £10,000 and they've paid £3,000 as the deposit. They have now £7,000 more to pay. So they can pay it in two installments. One, 50% when they go to the UK and enroll at the university, which they have to do within 10 days of arrival in the UK. They need to go to the international office and then register, enroll at the university. They have to pay 50% then, and the rest of the 50% in January.
Okay, that's great. So about the job opportunities, the Bangladeshi students, that especially they're searching for job opportunities. How many hours they will be able to do the job, and during the exam time, how many hours? So please, if you clear them something.
Well, as a tier 4 student, as a student on a tier 4 visa, students who are at a foundation program, foundation year level, they can work up to 10 hours per week. So this is just for foundation level. Students who are at UG, PG, meaning bachelor's and master's level, they can work up to 20 hours per week during term time. During holidays, they can work full time. So, Christmas, Easter, bank holidays, if it's a longer bank holiday. So holidays, they can work full time. However, 20 hours part time, during term time. As for job opportunities, the University of Chester has something called a uni job. So it's essentially jobs within the university, which you will get frequent mails for. You can then interview for these jobs and work there as well. Because the university has a lot of campuses within the city, outside the city. So there are jobs that do open up, here and there. Students can apply for those. Apart from that, they can, because the University of Chester, the city of Chester is a tourist city. It's a very, very popular tourist city. So we have a lot of cafes, a lot of retail stores, a lot of restaurants. So students have the opportunity to work there as well. So yes, few opportunities here and there for students to work part-time.
That's great. And that for the location, there is one of the points the student already keep in mind. Most of the Bangladeshi students prefer London area. But London area or nearest London or closest of London. So if you just give them a rough idea about the location of Chester and the nearest cities and towns and airport.
Okay, so University of Chester is situated in the northwest of England, and it is about 45 minutes from Manchester and Liverpool. Similarly, give and take about that time from both Liverpool and Manchester. And from London, it's 2 hours by train. So I understand, a lot of students' tendency is to stay in London and then come and study maybe in Chester, but that is unfortunately not possible because according to your Tier 4 visa regulation, a student must stay in a location that is just 1 hour from their place of study. So you can stay in Manchester and Liverpool if you wish to, and then come and study at Chester. In Chester, you can stay as well. Chester is very aptly located because it's close to the Manchester airport. Students would usually fly into the Manchester airport, and then we provide pickup service for international students to pick them up from Manchester and then bring them to the university. A lot of students do fly in to Heathrow as well, to London as well, and then they travel to the university. So it is very easy to travel because you have the bus, you have train going out of Chester, so it's very aptly located.
Okay, that's great. So if I ask you that why students choose University of Chester as their first choice, from your point of view, what you suggest for them?
See, the first point that I would say when it comes to, I understand the tendency is probably go to a bigger city, but for an international student who is going abroad for the first time, even if they've studied before, Chester is a very good location. Firstly, because it is a very friendly location for international students. All our students who've already been there say that, it has been quite easier for them to adapt to the people in the city, to the university itself. Secondly, I would say because of our ranking, the support that we give to our students, because of our competitive tuition fees. I mean, it is very evident that we have one of the most competitive tuition fees among all universities, for the guaranteed scholarship that we provide to international students, and for, of course, then most importantly, our programs that we provide, which are delivered by extremely good faculty. So essentially students who are going from Bangladesh will get a very good top-notch education in a very, very reasonable tuition fee.
That's good. But you know that for Bansi students, they have the tendency like that to go for Canada, USA, Australia, and you know that the reason is the peer reason. So why they should go for UK? From what do you think from your side?
It's two things. First is that previously, I can say exactly first for masters is that in Australia, Canada, masters is of usually 2 years. In the UK, it's just of 1 year. So for you, that is less cost, tuition fee less, living expense less, and you get the same level of degree. However, now I will be sure a lot of students have heard that the postgraduate route, that is the PSW, post-study work visa, has been announced in the UK. So essentially, if you finish your level of study in the UK, you can then apply for another 2 years of work visa. So that is going to be applicable from summer 2020. So whichever students are going this year, when they finish their studies, they can then apply for the graduate route. So yes, you can, now it's almost similar to Canada and Australia, how students stay there for work. You can do that in the UK now as well.
That's it. So if you just give a short brief that what is the latest update for the PSW?
Yes, so the PSW I think was announced sometime in April, late April. It was confirmed. With the COVID situation, we thought maybe it will be withdrawn, but however, there has been no news on this yet. But it remains as it is. It has not been withdrawn as far as to our knowledge. So it was announced that it will start from summer 2021, meaning whoever is going, in the September-October session, be it undergrad or postgrad, once they finish their level of study next year or the going years, whenever they finish, they can then apply for the 2 years post-study work visa. After they finish that 2 years of study, should they get a job there in the UK, which earns them a certain amount of money, certain types of job, then they can even apply for further work visa as well. So as far as to our knowledge, it's still on at the moment.
Okay, that's great. And you know that for some students in this May or June, their bachelor will be completed. So is there any expedition for their visa due to the situation?
For the students who are already there? Or
already there. Already there.
No, this is applicable to the students who will be starting with this year.
No, I'm talking about the visa expiration. You know that the May, June, the bachelor will be completed for those students, and the visa will be expired by July or August. So, in this situation, the visa will be extended for them.
I'm not sure what you mean by that, but usually the visa is given in such a way that it has a duration of additional 3 months after they finish their course. For example, if somebody is going for a postgrad, I can say from my own experience, I was a student at Chester myself. I did a master's in the university. So my course duration was October, I think, till October of 1 year to September of next year. And I had a visa till February of the coming year. So you will get, usually the visa is the duration of your course of study plus another additional 4 to 5 months. Yes. So there is there's no chance of the student running out in between their course.
So dear viewers, I hope you are enjoying our session with University of Chester. I think lots of things you all learned today about the Chester. And for further queries, we have office in Dhaka and Sylhet. And we have a very expert team here. Our services is totally free. You can visit our office or you can send your documents, admissions at talibconsultancy.co.uk, or you can call WhatsApp number anytime for any queries for any university and especially for University of Chester. So naturally, you know that we're going to arrange the virtual fair from 1st of June. So definitely, University of Chester is going to join this fair with us. So if you want to send a message for our students about joining this fair.
Firstly, I think we are sort of wrapping up now. We've given almost all information that we could have. I know a lot of people have joined us and a lot of people will probably be viewing this video later. Like Saqib has mentioned, if you have any questions, please reach out to them. I think all their informations are given here. You could also reach out to me. My information is there on the university website. For the virtual fair, like we mentioned today, one-to-one counseling, I think, has been with a lot of students, but in the virtual fair, I presume it's one-to-one, Saqib, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, one-to-one. It will be one-to-one.
Yes, yes. So I would suggest students to take advantage of that. If I'm not mistaken, it will run for almost throughout a month. So
Mm.
hopefully you will see us more than once. And I would encourage students to please enroll for those, because today we are giving out more general information. When you meet one-to-one, then we will give you information specific and catered to your entry, your academic and your work experience. So I think you should take advantage of that, all students who are viewing us today.
That's great. And for the current situation in Bangladesh, the COVID-19, everybody is in panic and stayed at home. And Eid is coming after 2 days. So, if you have any suggestion or advice for those people and the students.
I think because of the situation, a lot of students are wondering that whether they should put in their application or if they should go ahead with it. So I have two advice for students here. One is that I suggest that you start with your application if you are prepared to go. Only because two things. First is that, like I mentioned, when you put in your deposit, previously if a student asked for refund, of course, before you get the class, we would then deduct £150 as admission cost and then refund. But now, due to COVID, we have decided to refund in full. That's the first thing. The second thing is, if you have the conditional offer letter, say you didn't put in the deposit and you want to defer to the next session, you can also do that. So essentially, as a student, you have nothing to lose. You can just put in your application, because if the situation was to get better, then we know that there's going to be like a barrage of applications. So that will be a huge volume. At the moment, it's taking about almost 10 to 15 working days to give reply to an application, because all our staff are working from home. So I suggest that you take your time. However, if you want to, you can start off with applying to the university.
And definitely, she already mentioned that 10th of August is the last deadline for the accommodation.
Yeah.
So if you don't want to miss the accommodation, just apply as soon as possible. So viewers, thank you for joining with us and stay tuned with this Facebook Live session. And this is the last session before Eid. Our next session will be coming after Eid with Into. So stay safe, stay home, and stay tuned with TCL Global. Definitely everything will be fine soon, inshallah. And if you have anything you need from University of Chester, Tasmina Choudhury will be available from 1st of June in our virtual education fair. You can join with one-to-one session with her, or you can send us the email in our admissions email about your queries of the Chester universities. We will try our best to sort out your issues. So thank you everyone. Thank you for joining this session, and Eid Mubarak advance.